Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is for anyone who's ever felt stuck in their career. Whether you're making $40,000 a year, $140,000 a year, or $400,000 a year, it doesn't matter. People have the same issues. So this week I had a client that reached out to me and he worked at a prestigious university, made nearly $400,000 a year, and still struggled with the same thing that some of my $80,000, $90,000 clients struggle with: his ability to sell his true value, identify his wins, and articulate them in interviews. So that really was my aha moment. And that's what I want to share with you today. So, this is what I call the $350,000 lesson. And we will go through it. I will give you some key nuggets of how to solve this issue forever. So, let's get into it. All right. So if you've seen any of my other videos, you know my artwork is not what my strong suit is, but just stay with me here. So here's a successful person, and here's what they're thinking: my work speaks for itself, right? And that's what I thought for a long time, and it does not. So this really got me to thinking. All right. So let's break down the problems of people that make $40,000 a year versus somebody that makes 10 times that, $400,000 a year. So the $40,000 a year salary issues: I don't have enough experience, or my work isn't special. The $400,000 salary worker: my title and results should speak for themselves, or I don't need to brag. So, same problem with both. They're not framing their impact. So if you have somebody that's in this role, either they're new to leadership, they're moving up in their career, or they've changed companies, and typically they make you take 1 to 2 steps down. So they think they may not have enough experience in this industry yet. Typically not true. Or my work isn't special. Believe me, if you are running a multi-million dollar business, all positions are important. As a matter of fact, I used to ask my employees, hey, how much value do you add per shift, or how much do you sell per shift? And the answer is always $1,000, $2,000. It's like, all right, well, that lets you know right there that all roles are very important. All right, so to the $400,000 issues, and this was me for a long time, was thinking that my results, if you move up, if you're wanting to move up in your same company, it's like you'll have the scorecard. You know the results. You know I've got to do these special projects because of the results that I've given. So I don't feel like I should have to brag on myself. Not true. You have to figure out how to sell your value and your key wins basically naturally, where it's not bragging. So, eye opener for me: same problems regardless of how much money people make. All right, moving on. 3 steps to identify your key wins. So important. Most people do not even know which wins they need to highlight and share. So we're going to kind of go through this as well, and this will help you in the rest of your life, your career. All right, so you need quantifiable results. How much money was made? How much time or resources were saved, or what was the bottom line? So I'll give you some examples of mine. All right, so we'll just take one of my roles, for instance. Grew a business from 11 million to 16 million, from making $0 profit to $3 million profit in 1 year. All right, so quantifiable. Another one that I've used, and this is really memorable when I say this in interviews, is I promoted 16 managers to 27 positions in an 8 year span. That's very memorable. All right, scale it. What did how did that how were you able to scale it from your idea to getting one person results, to the team having results, to the company having results? So like I mentioned here, I moved people from one area, they were stagnant, got them into a new role, and it drastically elevated the team We grew the business from 11 million to $16 million and ultimately gained $3 million in profit for the company. So quantifiable, scaled it, then humanize it. Why it mattered to real people. Took somebody that was struggling to where they were not only performing at the level they needed to perform at, they were performing at a higher level, ended up getting promoted, went from making 60 something thousand to over $100,000 because they bought in and we were able to deliver these results. And you put the human element to it. 16 managers to 27 positions, or I had um, 8 managers and they were all probably one level above where they should be. Got them all to that level and then ended up getting 5 of them promoted within a year. So humanize it. So this is going to be different depending on what role you're going for and what your experience is, but just have something memorable. You want them, as you go in to craft your pitch, and we'll talk about 2 different pitches here, but you want them to have 3 to 5 key nuggets that they walk away with that make you memorable and really show your value so they see you as the person they need. All right, so crafting your sales pitch. So let's talk about a 30-second formula. All right, so you'll see this in a lot of people's bios. Who do you help? I help managers get promoted and make more money by identifying their key wins or true value and how to articulate that in interviews. Then proof, I've helped over 100 people get promoted and make more money. So whatever role that is that you're going into, that's it. So that is your quick pitch, as I call it. And then you'll need a longer pitch for interviews, which is typically 3 to 5 minutes, where you kind of walk them through your resume and just key wins from each role you've had. 3 to 5 key wins. And at the end of that, like I said, they're not going to remember everything that you said. But if you can get them to have 3 to 5 memorable things that you said, and I'll share this real quick. When I went from industry I was in for 18 years to supply chain, my boss came to me after 3 months and said, "Hey, how are things going?" And we're sitting there talking. He's like, "Do you know that I still remember 3 things that you said in your interview? I remember that you said how many people you promoted, how you grew one business from 11 million to $16 million, and how you had the highest employee engagement 4 years in a row." And you're talking about somebody that has thousands of employees, hundreds of managers. So that lets you know the power. If you get this dialed in and you craft your pitch, you will be seen as memorable and you will land that role and ultimately make more money. So here we go. So the 3 key marks, check marks. Identify your wins. So go through your work history, identify your key wins, build your pitch, then ultimately get hired, promoted, make more money. If you master this system, and I struggled with this for a very long time, I did trial and error, but once I figured out this formula, I used this to get 3 promotions in less than 2 years, triple my income, and this will work in any industry. So key takeaway, your value does not equal your salary. Your value is your ability to tell your story. So if you found value from this, check out some of my other videos. I do have, I think, some incredible content that really, if I had used the content that I'm sharing, it's like I'm speaking to myself 15 years ago. Incredible value. It will help you move up and make more money in your life more quickly. All right. Also, if I do have some tools, I have this in a document. If you'd like that, type value in the comments and I will send that to you. And like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.